The original Bama Football Tailgate Show is on the air. Alabama football is rolling, and we got you covered with a breakdown of the game matchup, an SEC preview, and all the fun of an afternoon on the quad with former Crimson Tide Sports Network broadcaster and SEC Network play-by-play voice, Mick Gillispie. The Bama Football Tailgate Show is presented by Yuengling Lager. Yuengling, America's oldest brewery. The only beer you need at a Bama tailgate party. Pearl River Resort Casino and Hotel in Choctaw, Mississippi. Let's play. Now featuring the Sportsbook at the Timeout Lounge. Also brought to you by the Flora-Bama world-famous beach bar and lounge in Orange Beach, Alabama. Genesis of Tuscaloosa, luxury with a national championship service department. Sevierville, your Smokies start here. Visit Sevierville.com. Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Hyundai, the longer you look, the more there is to like. R&R Cigars, home of the Cigar Mansion and Victory Cigar. 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa. Unique Bar on the Strip, home of the NFL, MLB, Premier League package. Catch all the games at Unique. Tuscaloosa Tourism and Sports. Not too small, not too big. Tuscaloosa is pronounced just right. Visit Tuscaloosa.com. Pond Royale, located at 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport. And NewLifeArt.com, publisher of Fine Art Editions by Daniel A. Moore. Use the code Bama Tailgate for a discount at NewLifeArt.com. Now your host of the Tailgate Show, Mick Gillispie.
What do you say, everybody? And what an intro. I'm ready to run through a wall, and I know you guys are as well. And it's great to talk to you on an Alabama game day. The Crimson Tide of Alabama ranked 4th, not getting respect, right? Well, we'll talk about that, but they take on Middle Tennessee State, MTSU. They actually beat Miami a year ago, but it is great to have all of you guys back here for the original Bama Football Tailgate Show, and it's always presented by Yuengling Lager. For the next 2 hours, we're going to preview that football game that takes place at 6:30 Bryant-Denny Stadium. We got my buddy Thom Abraham from 97.7 ESPN the Zone up. The guy was a tailgater long before, when I was a student, he was doing a tailgate show. So we got to have him on there. We're going to talk with Jimmy Hart. No, not the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, but Jimmy Hart from Visit Tuscaloosa. He's going to swing over and let everyone know what we got cracking here in the city of Tuscaloosa, title town, if you will. David Paschall from the Chattanooga Times Free Press is going to come on and talk SEC football. We got Reagan, the owner of R&R Cigars. He's our Joe's. And then we got Kenny White, our sharp out in Vegas from Kenny White's Power Ratings, as our pro. And that'll be part of our pick segment. Coming up next, another guy that loves to make picks is our buddy Chris Coleman. You guys know him from ColemAmerica podcast and also Unique on the Strip. So we're going to break down the Alabama game and talk about all the things going on. But let me tell you about Yuengling Lager and why this 6th-generation company is so important. They're proud to be an American, right? And Cheryl Yuengling, who's part of the ownership of the company, 6 generations, by the way, went to Alabama. She's actually been here at Innisfree. She's been over at Coleman's place, at Unique, and she's been all around town. She went to school here from Pottsville, Pennsylvania. She puts a little crimson love in each one of those green bottles, and glad to have those guys back on. So make sure that you, as you go to the car and then you drive out and you pick up your supplies, get a beer that represents your country and your university. That's Yuengling Lager, and try Flight. If you need something a little bit lighter, Flight is an ultralight Yuengling, and it's delicious. All right, we're at the Innisfree, and that's on the Strip in Tuscaloosa. that's where we're going to be posted today. We've got a bunch of stuff to talk about. And I'm going to tell you guys what's been going on. I mean, I know everyone's been wondering, like, what happened, right? Where you expected to see me on Bama Insider. I haven't been there, and I haven't commented because I wanted to tell you guys firsthand exactly what the word on the street is. And the word on the street is this. First off, I owe a huge thank you to Kyle Henderson. He's the guy that's with he was the guy that brought me in. You know, when COVID happened and the radio station that I used to work for during COVID, they cut a lot of people, and I was one of them, and I didn't have a job, and I started to build this. I wanted to do something digitally. And, through our mutual friend, Mr. Andrew Bone, he introduced me to Kyle Henderson at the time with Rivals, Bama Insider. They put the show on, and then eventually I would come on and do other podcasts with Kyle. So I got to thank him for helping kind of build this thing and get it going, and I wish him the best of luck. It was St. Patrick's Day, and basically we were with On3, which is a fantastic media company, by the way. Saw all those guys at SEC Media Days, and I've really grown to admire how good Shannon Terry is. He's the owner of On3, and he's like kind of the architect of all of the Rivals and the 24/7s and all that. But he's kind of been the guy behind the scenes building On3. It's his company, and then he's also the one that's talking a lot about NIL and all the stuff that's going on there and the change that's happening in college football. He's a really smart guy. Anyway, Kyle worked for him. I worked for Kyle. Basically, they split up. Kyle went, and he still runs the site, so you can go over and check out his shows as he does pretty much all of it by himself now. And then there was no Alabama site with On3 for Chris and me, who were the Alabama guys, to work for. So basically, we kind of just decided to move on. Chris, our producer, got a job with, I think it's called Chat Sports in Cincinnati. So that's awesome. And then today is the first Alabama show that I've done. But I've got a lot of things going on. I'm going to do some podcasts with my friends LT and Dunaway and the gang over there at Disrupt Media with Roll Tide Pods. We're glad to be back on our flagship station, Jocks 2, and we're going to be here for the radio broadcast the entire year like normal. We got a bunch of awesome affiliates throughout the state, all the way down into the coast, and I've got a welcome station from Pensacola. My guy Scott down there and the rest of the crew have been fantastic, but we've even branched outside of Alabama. But Pensacola is definitely a hotbed of Crimson Tide football. But Florence and Brett and Jasper and Jay and Coleman and the gang and with Thom Abraham in the Huntsville area, and all you guys that are hanging out with us, man. Thank you so much for being part of this and Roll Tide, and especially you guys. We're just going to keep on doing shows. And the other cool thing is that we're going to start our own YouTube channel just for the football show. It'll be the Bama football tailgate show. And you can just go on there and like us on YouTube, and we'll see what happens. But I started a Cubs YouTube channel, and it's been really fun to do. So we're going to do that as well. Now, that's the show plan. Now let's talk about Innisfree. Let's talk about today in Tuscaloosa. That's where we're hanging out. At some point, I'm going to crack a Yingling. I haven't had one in a while, but I'm definitely going to wait until the second half of the show. That'll be to celebrate. And when we come back, we're going to talk to our friend Chris Coleman and break down the Alabama game, which is going to be a lot of fun. I also want to tell you guys this. I'm really fired up about this deal at New Life Art. They've challenged me to challenge you guys. Like, hey, do the people that watch and listen to the show, do they really buy prints from New Life Art? Because if they do, use the code Bama Tailgate for a discount, newlifeart.com right now until Sunday. So you don't have much time, but if you're ready to upgrade, pimp out your man cave, now's the time to do it. 23% off. And that's everything except the new print that hasn't even landed yet. So I love them. I've got a whole bunch of them. I've been called the Bryant Museum a few times in my studio because of all the great prints, and I wanted you guys to know that as well. So Bama Tailgate is your code. All right, that's what we're doing right now. And what I can tell you is when we come back, Chris Coleman's going to jump on here. We're going to talk Alabama football. There's a lot to get into. No depth chart. Who's the starting quarterback? Who's the backup? Who's the third string guy? Defense looks pretty solid. What are we doing at running back? All of that talk when we come back. The original Bama Tailgate Show rolls on after this.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You've heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Hey y'all, it's Jennifer from the Floribama, and it's time for Floribama Fun Facts. The Floribama first opened in 1964, and we're celebrating our 59th year of doing it on the line. We host over 150 events every year, including Mullet Toss, Oktoberfest, Halloween Costume Party, Frank Brown Songwriters, Thanksgiving and Christmas Potluck, the biggest New Year's Eve party, and of course, the Polar Bear Plunge on January 1st. All the events, including our live music schedule, are available online at floribama.com.
Immerse yourself in the continuing dynasty of Alabama football with The Legacy Continues, a visually striking image from artist Daniel A. Moore. This sequel to Moore's 1992 sold-out painting, The Crimson Legacy, features iconic moments and memorabilia from the last 30 seasons of Tide football. Don't miss your opportunity to own this lasting tribute sure to be cherished by Bama fans for years to come. Pre-order The Legacy Continues now at danielmooreart.com.
Yingling, America's oldest brewery, has been making beer in America for 6 generations. And for nearly 200 years, we've been all about bringing the good times. By hand, by foot, by bike, by bikers, by fanny pack or jetpack, by whatever means necessary. With Yingling Traditional Lager, good times taste even better. Yingling, bring the goods.
R&R Cigars invites you to the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa. The best cigar selection and bourbon in the Southeast awaits you. 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, near Home 2 Suites, or Northport, next to Winn-Dixie. TheCigarMansion.com.
See yourself in Sevierville, Tennessee. Your Smokies start here.
This is My Great Escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots. Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort? No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun at Pearl River Resort.
Great to have you guys back on the original Bama Football Tailgate Show. I'm Mick Gillispie, and again, our show is brought to you by Yingling Lager, also presented by Pearl River Resort and Casino in Choctaw. Now's a great time to make your picks count at the Timeout Sports Lounge and Sportsbook, and I know as I bring my next guest on, Coleman, Chris Coleman, we'll call you for the name of for show's sake. I know you as Coleman, and people know you from Unique. They also know you from the ColemAmerica podcast, which I love, man. I mean, I love the podcast. It's fun. Yeah, man. You guys broke down the entire college football landscape.
We did on that episode. I had a few of the boys, Trip and Steve from Innisfree, Scotty Mac from Rounders, and it was just picking each of the conference winners, then the playoff players. I actually did one before that where I broke down each SEC team, looking at their win totals for the season, and versus the Vegas odds of where they thought they were. And so far, I'm looking good because Florida did not.
Yeah, right. Well, look, today's going to be a big slate of activity. I'm sure you'll win every game.
I hope so.
Yeah, but let's talk about Alabama against Middle Tennessee State. When I think of Middle Tennessee State, I don't think of a pushover, and it's like a 39-point spread today.
Yeah, it's a big spread.
6:30 at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Bama's 3-0 against them. Last time they played, 2015, it was 37-10. It wasn't a blowout.
Technically 2-0. We didn't we
one of those games
we vacated one of those wins. Yeah.
On the field,
3-0 on the field.
Yeah,
2-0 by the record book. Yeah, but it's been a while. It's been a while since we played them.
They last year went down to Miami. Kevin Steele, Alabama's defensive coordinator, was on the sideline when they lost, and Miami was just beside themselves that they lost to Middle Tennessee. But that was a team last year that went 8-4. They beat Miami. They won the Hawaii Bowl. So it was a good season.
It was. And, I mean, their coach has been there, 18 seasons?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Longer than Nick.
Yeah, that's insane to think about 18 seasons in today's world. But they were 4-4 in conference. And they haven't won a conference. It was like the Sun Belt in 06 was the last one that they won. And so we're not talking about a perennial power. It was a huge upset. And I'm glad they beat Miami because, one, they beat Miami. And two,
if someone had to lose.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. And then also, that I'm sure that our players have heard about that this offseason a lot.
Well, I'm sure Kevin Steele would love to win this game, right?
And so you want to have their focus. You want to have the attention. I understand the spread being that big also, though. Just looking at it, they lost their top 3 wide receivers. Their top receiver transferred to Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
And
is that something we're going to see a lot?
You're going to see it.
These
middle tier programs get diamonds in the rough, and as soon as they do well, they're off.
Right. They're going to make money somewhere else.
They're off. And
hopefully they do something about that.
I hope so too. And it's just weird that everything hit at the same time with the transfer portal and the NIL both hitting, and then you had 2020 where everybody gets the extra year,
right.
which really affected these past few seasons. We're starting to see that part of it go away.
Right.
But I mean, what was Hooker, a 6th year? He was about the same age as Stetson Bennett. But those guys on those extras, and Hooker could transfer in, and TCU half their team. But for tomorrow's game, I'm really looking forward to it. Chris Lowe reported earlier that Jalen MIlroe will be the starter.
Right, yeah. So, when they take the field at 6:30, Jalen MIlroe is going to be the starter, which I've kind of heard that as well.
Yeah, I expected that.
My sources tell me that Ty Simpson having a little difficulty with the speed of the game right now, and that Buchner's actually been really good. Like he's kind of pushing for playing time.
Buchner's also played under Reese with his offense and everything, both coming from Notre Dame, and so he should be more familiar with it. MIlroe is just an incredible athlete. I mean, the guy's a freak. And he has a word on the street as he has developed with his touch of the passing and everything better. Right? And we'll see. We'll see if he does. I personally think I thought MIlroe would be the starter. He started a few games last year. Let's remember he beat A&M, won some games for us. I think he'll start against Texas. We're going to be a run-first team for the first time in a long time.
Look, that's exactly what I was about to ask you, but let me remind everyone that you're hanging out with us here from Innisfree in Tuscaloosa, getting you ready for game day, Alabama and Middle Tennessee State, 6:30 kickoff, Bryant-Denny Stadium. This is the original Bama Tailgate show as we talk football, but what do you expect with this offense?
I think we're gonna run the ball. Our O-line's huge. is gigantic.
Are we going to maul people?
I think we will. I think this is going to be motorball is what they're calling it. And we're going to line up. We're going to run it. And with MIlroe, I wouldn't be surprised, especially against Texas. I don't think this week, but I think against Texas, I wouldn't be surprised if we ran a little option.
Right.
And ran some different things that people aren't prepared for and haven't seen on film with Alabama in a long time. And because we're going to be ball control.
Right.
And keep, I'm looking, I know Nick's not looking at Texas, but we're looking at Texas.
Right. We got our eyes
there. I think that we want to keep the ball out of Quinn's hands, and we're going to run the ball a lot and keep him on the sideline. And our defense, good. Now, as far as this game, Middle Tennessee last year, their offense had no rushing game whatsoever. You talked about their bowl game. What were they, minus 66 yards
right.
against San Diego State? They couldn't run it at all.
Right.
Their quarterback's not a big guy, but he's also not mobile.
Yeah.
And he just stands in there, but he's got experience, and he looks to pick you apart. And I think that's a good little test for our defense to stay disciplined, stay within the defense, and do your job.
Right. Well, I feel like Nick Saban is awfully comfortable right now.
Yeah.
Feeling good about life.
That's scary.
And I know when that happens, normally good things follow for the Crimson Tide. This home schedule this year is great. How good is this
amazing.
home schedule,
as a bar on the strip. Yeah.
You got Arkansas.
Ole Miss
LSU,
always travels
Tennessee,
well. They'll be here. Tennessee and LSU, both of them pulled miraculous things last year by defeating us. I hate to give too much credit, especially to Tennessee with that terrible call on the interception.
That call really made me feel like maybe
the fix was in.
Yeah, I mean maybe like that. You really have to keep an eye on
everything.
This. I mean, it really did.
It was so bad.
Call. There was a lot of calls.
There were a lot of bad calls, but that call in particular was a big game changer at a game-changing moment.
Yeah.
And, I think Tennessee will take a half step back this year. Mm-hmm. Now, look, they're going to look great against Virginia.
Yeah.
And they're going to kill Virginia today. But I think that overall they take a little half step back. They're not quite as good as they were last year. And they definitely get a reality check when they come to Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, fun schedule. What's it like when you're, behind the bar for some of these big games?
So great. There's so much energy. And that's something that you miss the rest of the year. During football season, there's this feeling, this energy around town that you can just sense it. You can feel it. And then when it's building up, and then you get to game time, especially these huge games, it's all night, Thursday, Friday. The really big ones, Wednesday.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for a while. I got old. And, you think back to, like, the game of the century, Alabama LSU.
I was there.
No closing time on Friday night.
I know. I was bartending back when I was the late night bar.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we stayed up until 5. Those were the days, right?
Right.
I didn't see the sun
It's such a catch-22 because on one hand, I wish that we could, still go all night and then go into the early mornings. But I do like getting into bed there. So it's all right. But then the students now definitely they can hang with us. They don't want to try. They go home early on their own.
Well, we're not Playboy's top party school anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, quickly, Bama. They're going to cover the 39-point spread, and then give me one of your picks of the week because I know you're a heavy player.
My 5-star lock of the week was actually yesterday with Utah, or Thursday with Utah, and easily covered that one.
Right.
But with the Bama game, I am going to take Bama to cover, but not by a lot. I'm not big on it. I'm going to take us, but if I were doing another 5-star scale like I do, then I would say 3 stars, 2.5, 3 stars. Bama covers. The bigger play on this game would be Alabama first half.
Right.
I think we come out and we just punch them in the mouth, and I think all 3 quarterbacks will play in this game, and so. In the second half, as you get into the depth chart and everything, which we don't have,
right?
Because Nick said no depth chart. But as you get down to the other starters, I don't know what we're calling them, the non-starter starters,
the
other guys. Will Ferrell going to jog out there? But as you get into those, then I could see us giving up a little something. And I went 45-6 as the final.
Hey, there you go.
And so 39, and you're sitting on 51.
Yep.
If you want one other game,
gotta go.
Quickly, all right. You know what? I really like Texas to cover the 35 against Rice.
Setting up a big matchup. That big matchup, Chris Coleman.
Alabama will reach #1 in the polls within the first 4 weeks of the season.
All right. You heard it right
Probably
there. Chris
after
Coleman,
Texas.
ColemAmerica podcast. When we come back, we're going to talk with Thom Abraham from up in Huntsville. Thanks, dude. Let's do it again next week,
Yes,
brother.
sir. Sounds great.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hi, Barry Buckner. It all adds up. Every time a Tuscaloosa Hyundai customer refers a friend or family member to come see us, we are truly grateful. I compare it to doubling a penny for 30 days. Believe it or not, by day 30, that one penny is over $5 million. Now that's adding up. I remind every Tuscaloosa Hyundai team member, it's only a satisfied customer who will give you a referral. That ultimate compliment earned by effort and excellence. And Tuscaloosa Hyundai has all the tools. A new vehicle lineup to meet any driving need. Premium pre-owned under 100,000 miles that we stand behind with our exclusive 1,000,000-mile warranty. Award-winning service, a company that values being named best of the best by our community. But above all, we are sincere in earning the trust that leads to a customer referral. And trust is priceless. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove, TuscaloosaHyundai.com.
Hey, this is Reagan, owner of R&R Cigars, the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa, located at 2703 6th Street across from the Home 2 Suites. Come down to R&R and see why we're the ultimate cigar and bourbon experience. With over 165 bourbons and 5 private barrels, our selection of bourbon is unmatched. We have the best cocktails around and our cigar selection is legendary. Our lounge and service are world-class. Come and experience the luxury of the mansion and see why it's a world-renowned cigar and spirits destination.
Check out Pawn Royale at 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport. The summer season is almost over. Time to go to Pawn Royale and find some amazing deals. Right now, our lawn and gardening inventory must go. That includes mowers, trimmers, blowers, chainsaws, you name it. Pawn Royale has deals on everything. Many items at cost or less. If you're in the market, come make a deal. That's Pawn Royale, 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Unique on the Strip. It's the best place to watch sports.
You're not even kidding. 11 TVs, NFL and MLB package, NHL, EPL, and so much more. If you want a game, they have it.
Now they're doing weekly NFL Pick'em, winners every Sunday, and grand prizes on Super Bowl Sunday.
And we haven't even mentioned the drink specials.
Of course they have daily drink specials. You can see them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Unique T-Town every day.
Unique on the Strip. The best place to watch sports in Tuscaloosa.
This is My Great Escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots. Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort? No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hi, Barry Buckner. It all adds up. Every time a Tuscaloosa Hyundai customer refers a friend or family member to come see us, we are truly grateful. I compare it to doubling a penny for 30 days. Believe it or not, by day 30, that one penny is over $5 million. Now that's adding up. I remind every Tuscaloosa Hyundai team member, it's only a satisfied customer who will give you a referral. That ultimate compliment earned by effort and excellence. And Tuscaloosa Hyundai has all the tools. A new vehicle lineup to meet any driving need. Premium pre-owned under 100,000 miles that we stand behind with our exclusive 1,000,000-mile warranty. Award-winning service, a company that values being named best of the best by our community. But above all, we are sincere in earning the trust that leads to a customer referral. And trust is priceless. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove, TuscaloosaHyundai.com.
Hey, this is Reagan, owner of R&R Cigars, the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa, located at 2703 6th Street across from the Home 2 Suites. Come down to R&R and see why we're the ultimate cigar and bourbon experience. With over 165 bourbons and 5 private barrels, our selection of bourbon is unmatched. We have the best cocktails around, and our cigar selection is legendary. Our lounge and service are world-class. Come and experience the luxury of the mansion and see why it's a world-renowned cigar and spirits destination.
Check out Pawn Royale at 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport. The summer season is almost over. Time to go to Pawn Royale and find some amazing deals. Right now, our lawn and gardening inventory must go. That includes mowers, trimmers, blowers, chainsaws, you name it. Pawn Royale has deals on everything. Many items at cost or less. If you're in the market, come make a deal. That's Pawn Royale, 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You've heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Unique on the Strip. It's the best place to watch sports.
You're not even kidding. 11 TVs, NFL and MLB package, NHL, EPL, and so much more. If you want a game, they have it.
Now they're doing weekly NFL Pick'em, winners every Sunday, and grand prizes on Super Bowl Sunday.
And we haven't even mentioned the drink specials.
Of course they have daily drink specials. You can see them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Unique T-Town every day.
Unique on the Strip, the best place to watch sports in Tuscaloosa.
This is my great escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots. Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort? No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Here we go, back on the original Bama Tailgate Show with Thom Abraham. I'm Mick Gillispie, getting you ready for the Crimson Tide of Alabama, number 4 in the country, hosting Middle Tennessee. But before we do that, let me remind you that our show is presented by Visit Sevierville. Yeah, Sevierville, Tennessee. Fall is a great time to visit Sevierville in the Smoky Mountains. We're in the middle of Smoky Mountain Harvest Festival right now, which means you got creative fall displays throughout Sevierville and brilliant fall colors in the trees. It's a lot of fun to check out, and you can do that at visitsevierville.com/fall. All right. Well, one of my favorite times of the year is talking football with this guy on the screen here, Thom Abraham from our great affiliate in North Alabama, 97.7 ESPN the Zone. How have you been doing, my friend? How's life treating you?
Life has been great. It's hectic right now with all the high school football and, of course, the college football getting going. And I'm still waiting for us to do the show from Sevierville. I love it. It's one of my favorite places in the world to go up there. But certainly it's been very, very hectic. And, of course, I do know who the starting quarterback is from Alabama. I just can't tell anybody. I actually have a depth chart and everything. But I am embargoed from telling anybody, so that's been kind of the issue. I've had it for really several weeks now, but that's just between me and Nick Saban.
It's funny that my first question for you, I'm going to read it. Is it okay for Nick Saban not to give a depth chart?
Yeah.
That's my first question.
Yeah,
I didn't tell you that. You're right in there.
There's need to know and want to know. We want to know. We don't need to know. We're on a need to know basis on it. So no, he doesn't owe us a depth chart or anything that looks like a depth chart. We'll all find out in a few hours. I think most of us have a pretty good idea of the way it'll go, at least to start the season, and we'll see how things develop. But no, Nick Saban does not owe anybody his depth chart. And in this day and age of kids jumping into transfer portal, if they have a bad practice, I don't blame them, because you want about 40 kids thinking that they're going to be an integral part of this team, and maybe they will be. We'll just see how many players are in the rotation. But when you typically on a defensive line, you're only going to have 3 of them out there at a time, but you might play 6 or 7 of those guys. So which ones do you pencil in first in their names? You know what I mean? So they have to understand that there might be 15 or 16 quote unquote starters on defense that are going to play. Depth charts are way, way overrated. And guess what? I bet they know who they are. And I bet the people I bet Eli Gold and the broadcast crew, they have a depth chart. And I bet, much to Tim Brando's chagrin, I bet the TV crew that's doing the game has a depth chart and has had a depth chart for at least a week to do all their prep work. He's just not going to announce it to the general public, and nor does he have to.
I guess it tells us where we are, too, where you're worried about someone getting their feelings hurt, that Thom Abraham is listed over Mick Gillispie on the depth chart. Maybe I'm going to transfer to Auburn, right? All right, Thom, I'm with you, though. I see what you're saying. The need to know people know, and that's all that matters, right? Well, what do we need to know, and what do you expect to see today from Alabama's offense?
Well, first of all, I expect vanilla. For the most part. If they can win this game without getting off of page 1, they will. Now, I have great respect for Rick Stockstill and Middle Tennessee, the Blue Raiders. I worked on that staff, on that broadcasting staff for 4 or 5 years. My son was on scholarship as an assistant coach there in his matriculating days back in 10 years ago or so. I like that staff. I like that program. Got great respect for them. They went to Miami and they won a football game last year. Against the Miami Hurricanes. Now, this is a different animal in Tuscaloosa. So I suspect that the defense, especially of Middle Tennessee, is going to be kind of scrappy. Having said that, I really do believe that Alabama is going to get back to some ground and pound. I do believe that they're going to run the ball. They're going to try and shorten the game some. A lot of the penalty issues that we've seen over the last 4 or 5 years now go hand in hand with running a much more of an RPO and a much more of a passing type offense and spread and shifting and all of those things, because those are more things to go wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So one of the best things you can do is line up, use your tight end, stick your hand in the ground, roll off the ball, and pound a little bit. I do believe that MIlroe will be the starting quarterback. I believe that he offers a real problem for defenses, because not only are you defending a great running back room, now you got to defend that quarterback if he decides to pull it and go, or if he's back there looking to pass. We saw the damage that he did last year. He's still one of the fastest kids on the team, and what he can do in a scramble is a real issue. I think we'll see 2 quarterbacks, if not 3. I think we will see Ty Simpson, maybe Tyler Buckner as well. I do not expect to see Dylan Lonergan, to the chagrin of the message board people. Maybe, who knows? But I don't think that we'll see him now.
Very interesting. What's the most important position group going into today's game?
The offensive line. I think that's the key, is a cohesive offensive line that gets lined up, and that it's doing their assignments and doing what they need to do. Because you can't control the game with your defense. You can control the game with your offense. But with your offense, you can shorten the game. You can lessen the amount of plays that your defense has to play. You can keep your defense fresher. So if the offensive line could be that road grader run blocking type of offensive line where you can 6, 7, 8 yards of carry, working your way down the field that way, some 10, 12 play drives. If the line can do that, if they can pass protect and not be grabby and holding and all of those types of things that put you in a hole offensively, if they can do those things, the offensive line will dictate everything else in the game because it'll shorten the game. They'll score their points. That's why I don't like it. For the bettors out there that want to lay 39.5 points, I would not do that because I think that, they can win this game by 4 or 5 touchdowns and it'll look very great. And they haven't covered the line, so I think I would be careful with that. But that's what I think. I think the offensive line is the most important part of this football team.
Yeah, look, I agree with you. Everything you say, I agree with you, and including that. And I mean, if Alabama's going to find this identity as you call them road graders, they're going to have to go out there and block. I feel like Nick Saban, to me, looks really comfortable. I mean, you and I have been here since the beginning. When he's agitated, there's a reason why. He doesn't have a poker face. He just doesn't. Right. At least not to us anymore when we've seen him over and over again. But when he's relaxed like this, other teams ought to worry.
I think he's re-energized with the new coordinators. You bring in a veteran defensive coordinator in Kevin Steele, who is a guy that's knows the system, has been there. There's no issues with terminology. There's nothing to do there. So I think that gives him a certain security blanket on the defensive side of the ball. And then offensively, you bring in a young guy who's had some success and it is considered a rising star. And, when you have veteran offensive coordinators like a Bill O'Brien type guy, you might knock heads a little bit in terms of what he wants to do versus what you want to do. Saban has a young offensive coordinator that he could say to him, look, this is what I want to do. I want to impose our will, and you go and do that. And when you have a young offensive coordinator that way, I think he's able to dictate those terms a little bit more. And I think that that's a certain amount of the success and the comfort that Nick Saban is feeling probably right now. And I think it re-energized him. I really do. I think this is the kind of thing that has got him excited about this upcoming season, having new staff members.
Hanging out with Thom Abraham on the Bama Football Tailgate Show, Alabama and Middle Tennessee State, MTSU, 6:30 at Bryant-Denny Stadium. All right, last topic I want you to discuss. Your friend Eli Gold is back. He had cancer. He's dealt with a lot of health issues, but he's back behind the microphone, and he's on the play-by-play for the home games that this year, which includes today. What do you think about that?
I'm so excited. I'll be honest with you. I love Eli. I've known him for 20 years now. He befriended me at a young age. He helped me out getting jobs over the years. We used to share Birmingham Bulls hockey games as well and split up that schedule and so on. He's just a great, great man and a great friend. Having said that, I didn't think he was coming back. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. I didn't know if he was going to make it. I'm not talking about make it back to the mic. I mean, make it to be walking this earth right now. Wow. So I'm very, very excited about this. I didn't anticipate it, but him being back in the fold is great. I know that he would just as soon be doing all of the games, but of course they travel with the team, and I think that would be asking a little bit too much of Eli to be doing that. There is 7 home games, 5 road games. I will make a prediction though. He can drive himself to Auburn. I'm just saying. I know Chris Stewart is great. I like Chris as well. Known him 20 years, and I know Chris is going to be doing these road games. I thought he did a fantastic job last year. Eli will fight for that Iron Bowl. I mean, that is not a long drive, and he can get an Uber. He can get a limo. He can get somebody to drive him over there to Auburn. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does 8 games, including the Iron Bowl, especially if it's a lot on the line, which there should be at a particular point in time. And what about Atlanta? Is that considered a road game? If they make it to Atlanta, is Eli doing that game? Is Chris doing that game? We'll see. Stamina is going to be a thing. There'll be involved pacing. That's a long day for a broadcaster. He has been a part of the pregame and the postgame in the past. I would suspect that they'll tighten up his responsibilities in that. But, he did a bunch of promos for our radio station and other radio stations across the state that are Alabama affiliates. And he sounds good, man. He sounds good. I'm excited for him.
Yeah, it really is exciting to have Eli overcome the odds and get back behind the microphone. All right, Tom, tell everyone how they can follow you and how they can catch your show.
It's on X, X, right? On X, it's at Thom Abraham Show. Of course, I'm a big X guy, But also, of course, 97.7 ESPN the Zone, which we are on today as well. People can listen there. And if you're out of the market, certainly get the 97.7 ESPN the Zone app, and you can listen to all of our shows and my show as well, and all of our high school football action as well. We have 5 high school football games on our streaming network every Friday night that we're very excited about as well. So, a lot of football action covered at 97.7 ESPN the Zone.
The original Bama Tailgate show is brought to you in part by newlifeart.com. You can look over Tom's shoulder if you're watching right now and you see one of those Daniel Moore prints. Bama Tailgate gets you a discount at the site, or put in Mick Gillispie as well, the promo code. But it's 23% off through Sunday right now on anything except the new print. That's the best sale that they're going to have all year and probably next year too. 23% off. That could be a big canvas. That could be one of the prints that you wanted. They redid some of them that are great, like the win against Arkansas in the national championship game. I love those things. I see Brody Croyle right next to your American flag, Tom. But newlifeart.com, Daniel Moore and those guys, they're the best. I love them. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk to David Paschall from the Times Free Press in Chattanooga.
Yuengling, America's oldest brewery, has been making beer in America for 6 generations. And for nearly 200 years, we've been all about bringing the good times. By hand, by foot, by bike, by bikers, by fanny pack or jetpack, by whatever means necessary. With Yuengling Traditional Lager, good times taste even better. Yuengling, bring the goods.
Autumn brings vivid colors to the back roads and hollows of Sevierville, Tennessee. Wind your way to quaint country churches, a historic covered bridge, and even a pick-your-own apple orchard. This fall, the best views are yours on Sevierville's Rocky Flats Fall Driving Tour. Learn more and find additional fall drives to enjoy at visitsevierville.com/fall.
Immerse yourself in the continuing dynasty of Alabama football with The Legacy Continues, a visually striking image from artist Daniel A. Moore. This sequel to Moore's 1992 sold-out painting, The Crimson Legacy, features iconic moments and memorabilia from the last 30 seasons of Tide football. Don't miss your opportunity to own this lasting tribute, sure to be cherished by Bama fans for years to come. Pre-order The Legacy Continues now at danielmooreart.com.
Hey y'all, it's Jennifer from the Floor Bama, and we're excited that football is back. The Floor Bama is proud to support Alabama football, and we invite you to join us at Floor Bama Old River Grill for a game day experience like no other. We have over 40 TVs and a brand new game day menu that includes endless wings, Santa Fe egg rolls, street corn nachos, and so much more. Bring your friends and join us for all the college and NFL games. Floor Bama's Old River Grill, open at 11 a.m. daily, right across the street from the world-famous Floor Bama.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You've heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. PG Yuengling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Tuscaloosa. is Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
This is my great escape.
Where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots. Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort? No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Great to have you back on the original Bama Tailgate show as we get you ready for Alabama and Middle Tennessee with our good buddy David Paschall. I can speak, I think, but it's great to see you, my friend, with the Chattanooga Times Free Press and on the radio every day in the scenic city.
Yeah, good to see you, Mick. It's been a while. Don't see you quite nearly as much as I used to. That's for sure.
No, we need to change that, man. Got to have you come on the show a little bit more and hang out with us. But let's get right into it. You know, this is an exciting time of year. You cover, the SEC, including Alabama, the Crimson Tide and Middle Tennessee. We'll go right into that matchup. Last year, Middle Tennessee beat Miami. Now, they're a 39-point underdog, and they lost a core of, the players that made that happen. But historically, this has been a team that can give other teams and big programs fits.
Yeah, and you've obviously spent time in Tennessee. Tennessee's got a unique dynamic, and it's coincidental today because the two kingpins of the SEC, Alabama and Georgia, they're both playing teams from Tennessee. And with Middle Tennessee, you've got a head coach that's been there in Rick Stockstill. This is his 18th year. So he's been at Middle Tennessee 1 year longer than Nick Saban's been at Alabama. I mean, we all talk about Saban's longevity, but Rick Stockstill has been at Middle Tennessee for 18 years. And then Jason Simpson at UT Martin, they're playing Georgia tonight. He's entering his 18th year at UT Martin. So it's really unique to have a dynamic in Tennessee of these two coaches, one at the FBS level, one at the FCS level, who have been at their programs for so long. But yeah, Rick Stockstill's 109 and 103. It's really a testament to just kind of riding out the storm. There have been some difficult years under Stockstill, but as you mentioned, last year they get Miami early, a Miami defense that was coordinated by Kevin Steele. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure Kevin will be motivated for that. That was a 45-31 game. And if you remember the highlights that night, because it was kind of the game of college football that day, they were hitting big play after big play. But yeah, this is a team that won its last 4 games, won the Hawaii Bowl. And I think Nick Saban all week has been, preaching this is a quality, opponent. This is not your typical, there are far worse teams that have appeared on Alabama's schedule over the years.
What do you think about this Alabama program where it is right now? They haven't won a national championship since 2020, and that feels like for Alabama an eternity. Georgia's won back-to-back. Alabama trying to figure out who's going to be the quarterback. I think Jalen MIlroe will start, but Tyler Buchner definitely pushing for that job. Your thoughts on where Alabama is right now?
Well, they're still way, way up there, and there are two very different ways to look at it. I mean, what's the thing you've heard the most about Alabama this offseason? Well, they were 11-2, and their 2 losses were on the last play of the game. What concerns me more from the Alabama standpoint is just their number of close victories. You mentioned 2020, and I think it's unfortunate that because it was in COVID, I think I think that was one of the best teams that college football's ever seen. I mean, if you go back to that 2020 Bama year, they demolished everybody. I mean, Florida made it a one-possession game late in the SEC championship, but, Florida had Trask and Pitts and Tony. I mean, that was a talented team. But what Alabama did to Notre Dame and Ohio State in the playoffs, they were doing that to everybody all year. You had LSU in 2019 that was just so good offensively, and a lot of people look back at LSU as one of the great teams ever. I just think COVID hurts Alabama in 20 because I think that's one of the greatest championship teams ever. But if you go, since that time, the one thing about Alabama that scares me the most, especially last year, you got those 2 last play losses, but you had 3 very fortunate wins. I mean, a very fortunate win over Texas. You had Texas A&M throwing for the end zone on the last play, and you had Ole Miss over there that was a real close call. So when you think about 5 close games that Alabama had, and we were just talking about the COVID year, they didn't have any really. I know Florida got the ball late, down 6 or whatever, but they had the whole field to go. Having 5 close games, that's very un-Saban-like. And I know it's one of those things that the bottom line is winning the game. And if you remember years back when Saban had that 14-13 win over Arkansas on the road, and if you remember his postgame, he really jumped on people saying, we can't win every game by, such and such. We've got to appreciate these wins. And so, I think Alabama's close calls last year are a little bit concerning. I don't know if that was an aberration or if that's the start of maybe this is a, still a great program, but, one that may be a notch below Georgia as they've been the last couple of years.
Great to have David Paschall on the original Bama Tailgate show. And I want to remind you guys that our look around the SEC is brought to you by Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Great time to go take a look at fantastic cars as we get ready for Alabama and Middle Tennessee State, 6:30 tonight. All right, let's switch gears a little bit, David. Let's talk Georgia. Back-to-back championships. They play one of the weakest schedules in college football. That'll change next year. Your thoughts, though, on this Georgia program, where they are this year?
Well, you touched on their schedule, and it is weak, but it's one of those things where it's not their fault that it's weak. I mean, it's not, the SEC made them drop the Oklahoma game because Oklahoma's coming into the league. And when you think about their 2 longtime rivals within the league, Auburn and Florida, those 2 programs are in spin cycles right now. Both of those programs are coming off losing seasons. So, it is a weak looking schedule, but again, it's not Georgia's fault that Florida and Auburn, have been struggling. But no, it's a unique team in that I'm curious about their running back situation. Branson Robinson got hurt and he's out for the year. You've got Dejon Edwards and Kendall Milton. One's dealing with an MCL, one's dealing with a hamstring. I know it's not going to make a difference tonight against UT Martin, but I do think with a new quarterback in Carson Beck, you do want to have a really good running game. They have not had a 1,000-yard rusher since DeAndre Swift about 4 years ago, but it hadn't really mattered. I mean, they've been a by-committee backfield that's still been very impressive, but you want to have as many healthy veterans as you can. So keeping Edwards and keeping Milton healthy, to me, is the biggest storyline for Georgia if they're going to make that three-peat. I think Carson Beck will be fine. I think that offensive line is fantastic. I think that's because I covered a lot of Georgia during the Mark Richt era, and I think that's the biggest thing Kirby's done from Richt. I mean, if you go back to those Georgia lines under Richt, they may have a player or two that played in the NFL, but then they have some 3-star from up the road in Jefferson that always just dreamed of playing for the Dogs. Now it is just NFL across the board with 5 stars up front. And I think Georgia, they've got the best, a generational tight end in Brock Bowers. And I think they've really helped. Georgia hadn't needed the transfer portal, but they do go out and get Dominic Lovett from Missouri and Ra Thomas from Mississippi State to go with Ladd McConkey. And so I think their receivers will be better this year as well. So I like that defense. A lot of people really close to that program say that this could be the most talented young nucleus that Georgia's had, which is amazing. I mean, they've had 25 draft picks in the last 2 years. So a lot of people think this may be the most talented team they've got. They're just real young.
Hanging out with David Paschall, the Bama Football tailgate show, rocking here, getting you ready for Alabama and Middle Tennessee State. It's hard to believe that kickoff is right around the corner, and we hope that you guys are having a great Saturday. All right, I got to ask you this. SEC team to watch. Last year, LSU beat Alabama. They got blown out in the SEC title game, but they were the SEC West champs. You don't have to say them, but who are the teams that you would say my teams to watch this year in the SEC?
Well, I think Texas A&M kind of makes that easy because it's inexcusable for them ever to go 5-7. And so I just think, bringing in Bobby Petrino, they did sign that number 1 class in 2022. Some of the guys have left, but most of them have stayed. They're another year older. I mean, that should be a much improved offensive line. Devin A-Chain is a big loss for them because he was a really exciting guy to watch out of the backfield. I just think that's kind of your natural pick just because they've got, if you ask the most improved, I mean, like I said, they won 5 games last year, which is inexcusable. So I don't think anybody would be shocked if Texas A&M bounced back up to that 9-3 or even 10-2 type of range just because of how much talent they have. But I mean, I do like LSU. I think Brian Kelly has done a great job of getting them really good, really quick. He was so good for so many years at Notre Dame. And you think about the tradition at Notre Dame, but you also think about that's a school in Northern Indiana. I don't think that's a school that's quite as easy to recruit to as it was was back in the Holtz days and before that. So, but no, I would say Texas A&M would be your team to kind of watch as far as biggest jump from last season, because I think in the East, it's pretty wide open there. I think you got Georgia's your number 1. Tennessee's a pretty clear number 2 after going 11-2 and winning the Orange Bowl. Then you've kind of got that grab bag. I mean, can South Carolina sustain it? I mean, because, credit to Shane Beamer. He's been proving doubters wrong from the get-go, and they had a huge November last year, knocking Tennessee and Clemson out of the college playoff picture. But 8-5, I mean, can they maintain that? Kentucky backslid from 10-3 to 7-6. Can they? They've made some acquisitions, getting Devin Leary, who was the ACC preseason player of the year at NC State last year before he got hurt. They've added to an offensive line that was just woeful last year. I mean, that's why Will Levis struggled so much last year compared to the year before. You've got Florida. Florida should never be, in the spin cycle they've been on. And then you've got Missouri, which is just kind of this wild card out there too. I mean, that is just your definition of a 500 program. I mean, they were that way late under Barry Odom. They've been that way under Drinkwitz. Can they finally snap out of it? So I'm curious to see what happens in the East behind Georgia and Tennessee, because they look like a pretty clear 1-2.
Great stuff. David, how can people read your work? How can they listen to you on the radio? How can they follow you?
It is D Paschall, and that's Paschall, D Paschall at timesfreepress.com. We're on ESPN Chattanooga as far as Press Row. That's our show from 3 to 6 Eastern, 2 to 5 Central each day. And so, those are the best ways to get in touch.
All right, great stuff. David Paschall joining us on the Bama Tailgate Show. We're going to talk Alabama football. We'll get you ready for the game. All that stuff coming up. Thanks for hanging out. More right after this.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hi, Barry Buckner. It all adds up. Every time a Tuscaloosa Hyundai customer refers a friend or family member to come see us, we are truly grateful. I compare it to doubling a penny for 30 days. Believe it or not, by day 30, that one penny is over $5 million. Now that's adding up. I remind every Tuscaloosa Hyundai team member, it's only a satisfied customer who will give you a referral. That ultimate compliment earned by effort and excellence. And Tuscaloosa Hyundai has all the tools. A new vehicle lineup to meet any driving need. premium pre-owned under 100,000 miles that we stand behind with our exclusive million-mile warranty. Award-winning service, a company that values being named best of the best by our community. But above all, we are sincere in earning the trust that leads to a customer referral, and trust is priceless. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove, TuscaloosaHyundai.com.
Hey, this is Reagan, owner of R&R Cigars, the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa, located at 2703 6th Street across from the Home 2 Suites. Come down to R&R and see why we're the ultimate cigar and bourbon experience. With over 165 bourbons and 5 private barrels, our selection of bourbon is unmatched. We have the best cocktails around, and our cigar selection is legendary. Our lounge and service are world-class. Come and experience the luxury of the mansion and see why it's a world-renowned cigar and spirits destination.
Check out Pawn Royale at 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport. The summer season is almost over. Time to go to Pawn Royale and find some amazing deals. Right now, our lawn and gardening inventory must go. That includes mowers, trimmers, blowers, chainsaws, you name it. Pawn Royale has deals on everything. Many items at cost or less. If you're in the market, come make a deal. That's Pawn Royale, 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You've heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Unique on the Strip. It's the best place to watch sports.
You're not even kidding. 11 TVs, NFL and MLB package, NHL, EPL, and so much more. If you want a game, they have it.
Now they're doing weekly NFL Pick'em, winners every Sunday, and grand prizes on Super Bowl Sunday.
And we haven't even mentioned the drink specials.
Of course they have daily drink specials. You can see them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Unique T-Town every day.
Unique on the Strip. The best place to watch sports in Tuscaloosa.
This is my great escape.
Where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots. Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort? No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
All right, great to have all you guys hanging out with us. And you missed the whole rundown, but I'm going to give it to you again anyway. We're at Innisfree. This is the original Bama football tailgate show as we hang out with you and get you set for Alabama against none other than Middle Tennessee State to start the schedule, 6:30 at Bryant-Denny Stadium. As we hang out, we're always brought to you by Yuengling Lager, America's oldest brewery. And right here in Tuscaloosa, Cheryl Yuengling, fourth-generation family member of the ownership, went to school at Alabama. She puts a little bit of crimson love in each one of those green bottles. And before I bring on my next guest, let me tell you about Visit Tuscaloosa. A lot of things going on here in Titletown, including Tuscaloosa's Farmers Market that takes place every Saturday on the river market from 7 to noon. And that's a place that Jimmy Hart, who's about to jump on the show, knows because it's right next to his office. You got the Tuscaloosa Civil Rights Trail, the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater, great concerts like Jason Aldean, Druid City Music Hall, and a lot of other great things. But Good to see you, man. Welcome to the show, Jimmy Hart.
Thanks for having me, Mick.
Yeah, we got so much to talk about here. You were, a guy who worked at the university, and then you slid over, and now you're with Visit Tuscaloosa. Mm-hmm. I know that's got to be a lot of fun for you.
It is. Travel and tourism is a pretty great industry to work in because we have to get that firsthand knowledge of what our visitors, what our guests are going to experience, which means I get to spend a lot of time out at our local restaurants and bars.
Oh, yeah.
Meeting a lot of people, doing a lot of fun things. Yeah. So it's a job that comes with a lot of perks.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, you came from the Midwest, and I know you've been here, for 6 years, and then now this job, you worked at the university. Mm-hmm. But when you came to Tuscaloosa, what was your first impressions of Alabama football and this whole culture that we have?
Yeah, well, I tell you what, when I came out here to interview for my job at the university, it was my first trip to Tuscaloosa. And walking on to the University of Alabama campus for the first time was really an eye-opening experience. And I know every year there are a ton of people who come to football games and get to experience that too. And a lot of people who maybe even haven't been to town just in the last 6-7 years, right. Stand to have that experience because the university has just done so much with that campus. It is gorgeous. And I really think that when you think of higher education in the United States, it's these blue blood Southern colleges that really embody that. And we've just got that here in Tuscaloosa in spades.
Well, your name's Jimmy Hart. How many times have people said Jimmy Hart, the wrestler, Jimmy Mouth of the South Hart? I wanted to ask you this in person. I didn't want to ruin the surprise. But as a longtime wrestling fan, right? Mm-hmm. He was like the manager for Hogan and a lot of the bad guys. Have they asked you that forever?
Yes.
Or am I the first
yes
one?
Is the short answer.
Are you related to Jimmy Hart and the Hart Foundation?
Absolutely. To the best of my knowledge, there's no relation. But I grew up in Kansas and then I moved to Oklahoma. Uh-huh. So then all of my friends back in Kansas started calling me the Mouth from the South. So it really just kind of took off from there.
Right.
And I tell you what, as funny as that is, a little piece of trivia for you. We're playing Middle Tennessee State this weekend. The communications director at Middle Tennessee State is also named Jimmy Hart.
Really?
I have Google alerts to thank for that piece of knowledge. He ends up in my Google alerts a couple times a week.
Yeah. There's a sportscaster that covers South Carolina named Mike Gillispie. So, my nickname's Mick Gillispie, but my original name is Michael. So I just friended him on Twitter.
Yeah.
Just because, right? I mean, we got to stick together, right? When someone has our names and all that. Well, let's talk Tuscaloosa. Visit Tuscaloosa. Was great hanging out with you and Kelsey a month ago and kind of getting into what we were kind of looking at for this year and all the fun stuff that you guys have going on and that we have going on in the city. Share that with the audience.
Yeah. So our mission, to put it concisely, is to help make Tuscaloosa a great place to eat, play, stay, and learn.
Right.
We want to bring in as many people as we can from outside Tuscaloosa County so they can learn more about what we have here, enjoy it with us, but of course also contribute to that tax base, right?
Oh, yeah, right.
We do help generate that kind of economic development within the community. And one thing Kelsey likes to say is tourism is the first date to new investment. We get people to Tuscaloosa. The Standard, there's a pizza place here in town that's a great example of that. They came to Tuscaloosa because their kids were interested in the university, and now they're a business owner here in town because they came here, fell in love with it, and saw an opportunity.
That's fantastic. So it's cool stuff. I mean, I travel around a lot with my job, and people always ask me about Tuscaloosa and, going to Dreamland Barbecue and different places like that. I love the Deontay Wilder statue that you guys have out in front of your offices. I mean, just being a lifelong boxing fan, so those are things that you get into, but it's always Alabama football, right? Atop everything else.
Right. I was born in 82, so I'm old enough to remember some of those great heavyweights from the 80s and 90s, Foremans, the Tysons, and getting to see some of those fights back on Friday Night Fights on Showtime. But there just aren't as many of those great heavyweights now.
No.
And for Deontay to be a local guy and to have that interest in boxing and the investment he's made in the community, I love it.
Yeah, he's just fantastic. All right, so how can people find out information about Tuscaloosa and anything else that you guys have going on at Visit Tuscaloosa that we need to tell everyone about?
Yeah, so we want people to visit the website, visit Tuscaloosa.com. We've got a great comprehensive events calendar on there, as well as lists of great places to eat and stay and many of our attractions here in town. Also, of course, want to encourage everyone to follow us on social media.
Oh, yeah.
We've got some great social media talent on our team. So if you're a Facebook user, or if you're a TikTok user, or the app formerly known as Twitter, I'm trying to get it to catch on with everyone that we just call it Twix, because I don't like X.
Yeah,
so I'm going with
either.
Twix.
But I like Twix. There's all kinds of. I like the peanut butter Twix better than the caramel.
Fair enough. But yeah, whichever platform you prefer, you can find us on. You can find us on it, and we'll make sure you stay informed on the fun things that are going on and some of the really unique opportunities.
It's good gear. You gotta have some good gear now too.
We do. Yep. If you want some Tuscaloosa gear, you can get it in your crimson and white, or you can branch out into some other colors if that's more your thing.
Awesome. Well, guys, make sure if you see Jimmy Hart, you say hey to him. This isn't the wrestling Jimmy Hart or the one that worked for the team that Alabama's kicking off against at 6:30. This is our Jimmy Hart. Visit Tuscaloosa. Thanks for hanging out, man. Let's do this
Thanks
again.
for having me. Absolutely.
All right, guys, when we come back, we're going to place up some odds. We got two of the best in the business. Well, we got our pro, which is Kenny White, our sharp from out in Vegas. And then we got Reagan from R&R. He's our Joe. It's our Joe versus pros. And we're doing that Pearl River Resort style when we come back. More of the Bama Football Tailgate Show, the original, right after this.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Hey y'all, it's Jennifer from the Floribama, and it's time for Floribama Fun Facts. The Floribama first opened in 1964, and we're celebrating our 59th year of doing it on the line. We host over 150 events every year, including Mullet Toss, Oktoberfest, Halloween Costume Party, Frank Brown Songwriters, Thanksgiving and Christmas Potluck, the biggest New Year's Eve party, and of course, the Polar Bear Plunge on January 1st. All the events, including our live music schedule, are available online at floribama.com.
Immerse yourself in the continuing dynasty of Alabama football with The Legacy Continues, a visually striking image from artist Daniel A. Moore. This sequel to Moore's 1992 sold-out painting, The Crimson Legacy, features iconic moments and memorabilia from the last 30 seasons of Tide football. Don't miss your opportunity to own this lasting tribute sure to be cherished by Bama fans for years to come. Pre-order The Legacy Continues now at DanielMooreArt.com.
Yingling, America's oldest brewery, has been making beer in America for 6 generations. And for nearly 200 years, we've been all about bringing the good times. By hand, by foot, by bike, by bikers, by fanny pack or jetpack, by whatever means necessary. With Yingling Traditional Lager, good times taste even better. Yingling, bring the goods.
R&R Cigars invites you to the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa. The best cigar selection and bourbon in the Southeast awaits you. 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, near Home 2 Suites, or Northport, next to Winn-Dixie. TheCigarMansion.com.
See yourself in Sevierville, Tennessee. Your Smokies start here.
This is My Great Escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots. Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort? No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Great to have you guys on the original Bama football tailgate show. I'm Mick Gillispie, reminding you that Alabama and, of course, Middle Tennessee State open up at Bryant-Denny Stadium at 6:30. And it's going to be a good one. Nick Saban and the Crimson Tide hoping that this is the year that they get back in the title game. But this is also one of my favorite segments brought to you by Pearl River Resort in Choctaw, Mississippi. And that's when we break down the odds. And I've got two of the best to do it with. First, out in Vegas, you know Kenny White, the Wizard of Odds, and his Kenny White Power Ratings. How you been, Kenny?
Doing well, Mick. Excited football's here. I don't think I've slept in the last 3 or 4 days. Just, the final push to the end to get ready and come up with your plays and come up with something to talk about too. It's a lot easier for me to say, yeah, I made Alabama 45. They should win easy.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that coming up. And then, of course, Reagan from R&R Cigar in Tuscaloosa. Reagan, I see you got a cigar there, and you're ready to talk some football. How you been?
I have been good. I've had a great time. I'm, ready to talk football for the next, 5 months, nonstop every day, ready to go.
Ready to smoke some Victory cigars as well. Home of the Victory cigar.
Ready to get those going.
All right, guys, let's keep score this year. We we put this crew together midway through the season. I feel like last year. Now we're here from day one. So let's it's like Joes versus pros as far as picking games goes, and we're gonna get things cranked up right here. And guys, I'm excited about having you on here, and I know everyone is as well. All right, first game we're gonna get into. West Virginia at Penn State. This is a really fun matchup. Last year, Penn State won their last 5 games. West Virginia kind of up and down. They went 2-3 in their last 5. They're a very competitive team. They have a coach that's on the hot seat. And the spread in this football game is one when you look at it, you feel like the experts don't think that West Virginia has much of a chance. West Virginia is a 20.5-point underdog. Kenny, I'll start with you. Mountaineers against Nittany Lions in Happy Valley.
Yeah, a tough game because the point spread's right. That the experts are right. West Virginia is still a down football team. Neil Brown, I thought, would do a really good job here. He came over from Troy, but has not won more than 6 games in one season yet. So 5 wins, 6 wins, 6 wins, 5 wins. I think their quarterback play is below average with Garrett Green. I think it's going to be another very long year for West Virginia, but I'm not sure Penn State's the type of team that, is a run the score up team and win by 3 touchdowns. I think they're happy with, they get up 2-3 touchdowns, they're going to be extremely happy. As I said, I just don't think they run the score up. Their quarterback play is not great. Drew Allard, probably the starter, slightly above average college quarterback. Other than that, their defense is extremely solid. Their wide receiver play is outstanding. This team would have a shot at playing in a national championship game if they had a quarterback. That's how good Penn State is. Their weakness is their quarterback.
Reagan, West Virginia in Happy Valley. What do you think?
Look, man, I really do believe I'm taking Penn State to win. I'm going to go opposite of what the Wizard of Odds just said.
I'm not betting. I'm not betting the game. I'm going to pass, Reagan. I'm not.
Wait, we get to pass?
Just so you know. Yeah, I don't like it. I made it 21. It's 20.5. So
he's picking it for the show, but in real life, he's saying, "Hey, wouldn't mess with this one."
Yeah, no, I would. Me either. But since we're on the show, look, man.
For me, do it for me.
This is just for you. Look, Drew Aller, class of 22. 24/7 had him as 24/7, the best recruiting service out there, by the way. Had him as the number one player overall. He was the number one quarterback, number 3 national. 24/7 composite had him as a 5-star, number 32 national. I think this is the guy that Kevin Franklin's been waiting for at quarterback. He's 6'4", 230. He's a big dude, big arm. Everybody loved him coming out of high school. I wouldn't have minded having him in Tuscaloosa. I think Penn State starts the Neil Brown back to Troy train tomorrow and Saturday, game day. Sorry, I've got rain this week, so I don't even know what day it is. But anyway, Penn State's going to blow them out. That's my pick.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. Look, I like West Virginia, and West Virginia scores a lot of points, but I just think that this is one of those games where Penn State is really out to prove that they belong on the national stage. And if they're going to compete with Ohio State and Michigan, these are the type of teams that they need to basically run over. And I think that that's very possibly the way that things are going to turn out in today's game. All right, let's talk about the second game on our slate. And Reagan, I'm going to throw you in there first. This is one that we're all really excited about seeing. And that's the South Carolina teams going at it. North Carolina against South Carolina, and it's in Charlotte.
What's the line on this one? What you had it at? South Carolina is getting 2.5.
2.5, yeah. And North Carolina's ranked, but South Carolina was a really good team at the end of last year.
You know, for me, Drake May is one of the top 3 quarterbacks in college football. Spencer Rattler's not. There's a reason that we tried to get Drake May to come to Alabama and other schools. Somebody offered to pay him $8.5 million.
Wow.
I really do believe and I believe quarterback play is what separates teams in college football. I think this will be a fun game. I think it'll be an exciting game. Probably a lot of points get scored. I'd probably bet the over on this game, but I like UNC to cover the 2.5. I think they win. I think they win by at least a field goal. So I'll take the Tar Heels and the Fighting Mac Browns.
All right. Kenny, again, 2.5, the spread. This is one of the best games matchup-wise today in the first week of college football, and I love this one. North Carolina and South Carolina. Your thoughts?
Yeah, this is probably the marquee game of the weekend, I think, because they're so closely matched, playing on a neutral field. South Carolina is actually closer. It's a closer drive for them to Charlotte than it is the Tar Heels, but that really doesn't matter. It's going to be split equally down the middle. I agree with Reagan. Drake May, one of the top 3 quarterbacks in all of college football. The kid's got a quick release, strong arm, great accuracy, and he can do it all. Great touch. I didn't make my total as high. I agree with him on the over, but my total isn't as high as the total out there. I made it 62.5 at 64. On the side, I'm with Reagan. I made the Tar Heels 4. Over South Carolina. Coaching wise, I will say I really like Shane Beamer. I think he's going to be a tremendous coach, and I think South Carolina is going to have a great year. I really do. This guy, he's coached under not just his father, he's coached under 3 or 4 Hall of Fame coaches. So he knows what he's doing. Shane Beamer will get the Gamecocks to overachieve. This will be a tough game, but I'm with Reagan. I'll take the Tar Heels.
I'm going to go against the grain here, guys. I'm taking South Carolina in the points, but I don't know what South Carolina is going to do. A lot of guys transferred at the end of last year. They had a ton of momentum, and then all of a sudden, every day you would see another one of their great players going somewhere else. But I'm not sold on North Carolina either, and I'm going to take the SEC team. All right, I'll go first on this one, and then let you guys jump in. LSU versus Florida State. LSU last year was one of the best teams in college football going into that bowl. I know they got smoked by Georgia, but so did TCU in the national championship game. I think LSU is another year deeper. They're a good football team. I think Florida State's a good team too, but I'm taking LSU and I'm giving up the points. Reagan, I know you know a little bit about Florida State. What do you think?
LSU's without John Emery. LSU's without their best defensive player. The game's in Florida. I'd say Camping World. I'm pretty sure Florida State has a very good record at season openers at Camping World Stadium. Mike Norvell, I think, is a better coach than people understand. Jordan Travis is like 30 years old and coming back for, I think, his 7th season. And there's something special about those quarterbacks that are in year 7. Just look at Stetson Bennett last year, I mean, it's grown men playing against 18-year-olds. I mean, that's an advantage. I'm sorry. But you do the minor leagues, right? Kids that are 27, 28, they're a lot better than the, young kids in the, in AA. So I think that LSU without those two players, that makes a big deal. Florida State's really healthy. They have I think the best player in college football on defense in Jared Verse.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has a monster night versus LSU. And I like Florida State. I like Florida State to win outright, let alone cover 2.5.
All right, Reagan, before I get to Kenny, what do you got going on at R&R?
Man, well, it's game day weekend, so we're going to have the cigars. We're going to do, I think we're starting up some tailgates at Texas. And we're open till 1 a.m. Friday and Saturday night. And
that's all season.
Yeah. On Fridays and Saturdays, 1 a.m. all season, 11 o'clock every other day, 20% off 20 cigars and 150 bourbons and 80 beers.
It's a great place. And the new bar is awesome, by the way.
The new bar is awesome. You can actually belly up to the bar and sit at the bar and
love
watch
it.
the games now. So lots of fun.
Can't wait. All right, Kenny, your turn. Get in here and tell us what you think. LSU and Florida State. Reagan and I are on different ends of this one.
Another great game. I'm going to go with Florida State here. I'll go with the 30-year-old Travis against Jaden Daniels. And I think it may be a fast start for Mike Norvell in this game. Love both offenses. Should be extremely high scoring, but let's not forget the new rule change that the clock does not stop after a first down anymore, other than the last 2 minutes of the first half, last 2 minutes of the game. The NCAA has they came out before the season. They thought it would drop the plays per game, 6 or 7 less plays per game. There's 0.4 of a point scored on every play is what the average is. So that's about 3 points per game. College football will be less this year. The average was 56 points a game last year. The average college game this year will be 53 points per game because of that one rule change. So I'll take Florida State. I'll lay the short number with them.
All right. And of course, this segment always brought to you by the great people at Pearl River Resort. And now's a great time to kick it over to Choctaw, Mississippi, the Timeout Sports Lounge. You can go over there and lay down your bets. And Kenny, if they do that, they might need a little help, and you can give them that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. On my site, we had pick sales up for years, but I had 7 talented handicappers on the site. All showed a winning record for college football in the NFL the last 2 years. But you know what? Getting people to buy picks in this day and age is so difficult. Advertising and marketing is everything. I just didn't have the time or the energy to do it. I've dropped all of my handicappers off the site. There's one product for sale, and it's the one everybody buys. They go to the site, they buy it. It's $20 for a month, $5 a week, basically. It gives you every game, my projection, final score, what the point spread should be. And you get that sheet on Monday. It gets emailed you on Monday, the week before the game, so you can get ahead of the numbers and get the best number and beat the market. So $20 for the power ratings. It's the only product on the site that's there. It's the only thing you can buy, and it's the only thing worth buying.
All right. We'll do it again next week, guys. Great stuff. We're going to break down Alabama and Middle Tennessee State coming up.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You've heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Hey y'all, it's Jennifer from the Floribama, and it's time for Floribama Fun Facts. The Floribama first opened in 1964, and we're celebrating our 59th year of doing it on the line. We host over 150 events every year, including Mullet Toss, Oktoberfest, Halloween Costume Party, Frank Brown Songwriters, Thanksgiving and Christmas Potluck, the biggest New Year's Eve party, and of course, the Polar Bear Plunge on January 1st. All the events, including our live music schedule, are available online at floribama.com.
Immerse yourself in the continuing dynasty of Alabama football with The Legacy Continues, a visually striking image from artist Daniel A. Moore. This sequel to Moore's 1992 sold-out painting, The Crimson Legacy, features iconic moments and memorabilia from the last 30 seasons of Tide football. Don't miss your opportunity to own this lasting tribute sure to be cherished by Bama fans for years to come. Pre-order The Legacy Continues now at danielmooreart.com.
Yingling, America's oldest brewery, has been making beer in America for 6 generations. And for nearly 200 years, we've been all about bringing the good times. By hand, by foot, by bike, by bikers, by fanny pack or jetpack, by whatever means necessary. With Yingling Traditional Lager, good times taste even better. Yingling, bring the goods.
R&R Cigars invites you to the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa. The best cigar selection and bourbon in the Southeast awaits you. 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, near Home 2 Suites, or Northport, next to Winn-Dixie. TheCigarMansion.com.
See yourself in Sevierville, Tennessee. Your Smokies start here.
This is My Great Escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots. Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort? No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
All the sounds of football here in Tuscaloosa. This is the original Bama football tailgate show, and we're doing it from Innisfree. And we got the guy himself right here from RMFT. Oh, and also from Innisfree, Mr. Trip Rogers. What's up, man?
Man, not much. Ready to start a new season.
The funny thing is that you know more about the football team than anyone. Because
I don't know about that.
Man in the show in here.
I'm not too sure about that, especially this year. It kept it on kept it under wraps this year so far.
Yeah, it's been tight. We don't put out depth charts anymore. Right?
I know, right? So who knows?
Well, as we hang out here, it's always fun on a game day, and our show brought to you by Yuengling Lager. Cheryl Yuengling, you met her.
Yep,
She came in here and hung out.
She came in last year, had a good time. So great person, great beer. America's oldest brewery, right?
That's right. You also had Morgan Wallen in here. So, is he the most famous person that's been in here in a while?
I don't know. Justin Thomas brought Morgan in, so I have to say Justin was more famous at the time.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, though, unfortunately.
No. Well, I'm not talking about
A-Rod's been here.
I'm just talking about A-Rod.
A-Rod's been here.
I'm just talking about the fact that
Urkel's been here.
Urkel?
Yep.
Now you know what, Urkel, that changes the entire game right there. When you bring
he's a game
Urkel
changer. He's a game changer.
Do you get like pictures with all these guys?
No, I'm not a picture guy. This face is not a picture face.
No. All right. Well, let's talk. Saturday at the Free is a great place if you're coming into town right now, or you're planning on coming to another game. Make sure that you swing by and see Tripp and everyone here at Innisfree. And it's part of obviously a good tailgating spot and a great place to go before any game. Today, all of the great games that are on, what are you looking most forward to seeing?
I think Sunday's game, LSU Florida State, might be.
You got some action on that one?
North Carolina, South Carolina today will be good. Feel like there's not a lot of games.
The LSU Florida
State game is going to be the one to watch.
Yeah,
I don't think that's any question.
Don't you wish they had a big game every Sunday night on college football?
I mean, Sundays are hard enough to recover.
Be too much for you, huh?
No. But yeah, we're gonna have it today, tomorrow will be good. I think who plays Monday?
Do you do the NFL? You do the NFL?
I mean, we do. We get good crowds. It all depends on who's playing.
Right.
I mean, with all the out of state kids now, we get a lot of following. The LA teams, we got a lot of California people here.
Really?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
Ton
here?
of California kids. They all getting scholarships. They all get money to come here.
Huh.
A lot of Chicago kids.
Well, that's good.
And a lot of Texas kids.
Yeah,
so
the big states.
It just depends on who's
How about
playing.
Northern Virginia? A lot of Northern Virginia.
We got a lot of
kids.
metro area kids coming down nowadays.
Where you're from.
So I think I was the first. But now
you told everybody the secret.
Paved the way down for everybody to come down and have fun.
Well, let's talk Alabama. You've been going to the games for a long time. I mean, you're there all the time. Then you talk to a lot of people. What do you expect Alabama's offense to look like today?
Man, this year I don't even know. It reminds me of like the old teams, like where you're like, what are we going to be like this year? Like you hear everybody's like, we're going back to a run game. My thing is I hope people don't get mad if we're only scoring 20 some odd points a game.
No, you really think that would happen? Gene Stallings style?
I mean, well, who knows? You don't hear, the receivers aren't in the limelight this year. We don't have that explosive. I mean, we could, they've kept it under wraps, like I said a minute ago. So we could come out and be one of the best teams ever at Alabama. One thing I have heard is that the enthusiasm and the attitude is better than it's ever been, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good information because Nick Saban's about as comfortable as I can remember seeing him.
I mean, is that a good thing or bad thing?
I think it's a good thing because I think he'd be agitated if he didn't feel like the team was doing the things that he wanted to do, right?
I just don't think and someone was saying this the other day that last year's team, too many superstars, and they couldn't come together.
Right.
This year we might not have a superstar, or we might have five. But
well, we got superstars, but they're just not superstars.
Which know what? Not being in the line is a good thing.
You're saying that we might not have Morgan Wallen or Urkel,
right?
But we could still have a winning team.
Yeah, 100%. So it'll be fun to watch. Obviously today's game will be, it might be a quick one, might be a halftime game.
Right. Do you stay for the whole game, or
I do?
you come back here?
I stay for the game. That's what you go for.
You would be shamed for our friend Colin.
Yeah,
if you did that. You know that.
Yep. But I'll be with him tomorrow, so I definitely,
he's
not leaving.
He's like the last guy in the bleachers when they put up by 60.
Yeah,
he's still out there shaking. I mean, I'm proud of him. For that.
But I mean, this is the calm before next week.
I know you got to be. I asked Coleman this. I know you got to be pumped up. I'm talking with Tripp from Innisfree as we get you ready for Alabama and Middle Tennessee at 6:30. The home schedule this year is pretty legit, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we didn't have many good ones last year.
No, and Texas this year, and our SEC home games this year are great. So it'll be a great fall. So put your seatbelt on, I guess. Because next year's schedule is great, but they took away a home SEC game from us, so we only have 4 home SEC games next year, which kind of hurts.
Right.
We go to Wisconsin next year.
Oh.
So, but yeah, this year's fall, man, this year's gonna be fun. We don't have a patsy schedule like Georgia.
Yeah.
But
the cakewalk for those guys, right? What do you think about the quarterback battle?
Which one? Hopefully Jalen will step up today and do well.
See, I'm hearing Bookter.
So
you hearing that too? I talked to a lot of people, and they're not hearing that. But I got a pretty good source that Bookter's the guy pushing for the playing time.
Really?
That's what I hear. I mean, we'll find out.
We'll
That's
see.
what it's all about today.
We'll see.
We got talented guys.
They just gotta, maybe just like sometimes the kids they don't get it in practice or don't like practice or and then all of a sudden the game hits and all of a sudden it's like they go into a whole different mode and they're like, we'll see.
Right. Practice?
I know. It's not like the old days when they had true 2-a-days in August back in the day.
Yeah. We've been through a lot. I mean, from Gene Stallings to Mike Shula,
Coach
DeBose, and Fran, and then now, I mean,
Mike Price never saw the field.
I know, and it's like OGs like us, man. I mean, like we've like rode the entire Saban way.
Yeah, it's been
how much further?
It's been
this
a great
way
one,
go?
man. I don't know. That's what scares me about this year. He's like all laid back. He's like, maybe this is a swan song. Who knows? I hope not. I just, I feel sorry for the next guy. It'll be a heck of a transition. But
Dabo, I think he can handle it.
I don't think Dabo's coming. Yeah.
He doesn't want the heat.
I mean, I don't know if he couldn't handle it. I don't think.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if you watch Clemson, they've kind of, slowly trickled down. Our season last year, the ref makes the right play against Tennessee game. It's a whole different season.
I know.
We go into LSU undefeated, and we have a whole different attitude.
I know.
So,
yeah.
But
I agree, and that
can't go back in time.
That game's definitely changed the way that I look at gambling too.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff that happened in that game that made no sense to me. The LSU game wasn't like that. The LSU game was very shady.
It was. So,
all right. Well, look, you stick around with me. We'll come back. We're going to pick this game.
Let's go.
Right? We'll talk about your gear as well.
All right, sounds good.
To pitch that. So, hanging out, the original Bama Tailgate show right here at Innisfree, and after this, we will return and give you our picks. This is rolling down to the end of the first show. It's unbelievable. 6:30, Alabama and Middle Tennessee State.
Yingling, America's oldest brewery, has been making beer in America for 6 generations. And for nearly 200 years, we've been all about bringing the good times. By hand, by foot, by bike, by bikers, by fanny pack or jetpack, by whatever means necessary. With Yingling Traditional Lager, good times taste even better. Yingling, bring the goods.
Autumn brings vivid colors to the back roads and hollows of Sevierville, Tennessee. Wind your way to quaint country churches, a historic covered bridge, and even a pick-your-own apple orchard. This fall, the best views are yours on Sevierville's Rocky Flats Fall Driving Tour. Learn more and find additional fall drives to enjoy at visitsevierville.com/fall.
Immerse yourself in the continuing dynasty of Alabama football with The Legacy Continues, a visually striking image from artist Daniel A. Moore. This sequel to Moore's 1992 sold-out painting, The Crimson Legacy, features iconic moments and memorabilia from the last 30 seasons of Tide football. Don't miss your opportunity to own this lasting tribute sure to be cherished by Bama fans for years to come. Pre-order The Legacy Continues now at danielmooreart.com.
Hey y'all, it's Jennifer from the Floor Bama, and we're excited that football is back. The Floor Bama is proud to support Alabama football, and we invite you to join us at Floor Bama Old River Grill for a game day experience like no other. We have over 40 TVs and a brand new game day menu that includes endless wings, Santa Fe egg rolls, street corn nachos, and so much more. Bring your friends and join us for all the college and NFL games. Floor Bama's Old River Grill, open at 11 a.m. daily, right across the street from the world-famous Floor Bama.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You've heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Tuscaloosa is Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
This is My Great Escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots. Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort? No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Final segment of the Bama football tailgate show, hanging out at Innisfree on the Strip, getting you ready for Alabama.
Downtown, not on the Strip.
Well, downtown. It's close enough to the Strip.
Downtown.
Can I say the Strip? We're
say
right
downtown.
there.
We're downtown.
We're in between.
The greatest downtown in the U.S., downtown Tuscaloosa.
So is this technically downtown?
Yeah.
See, I thought we were like in between.
We're on an island.
We're close to the Strip.
So
we're a lot closer to downtown.
We're halfway between Greensboro and the
It's
stadium.
right next to where Pizza Hut used to be.
So,
I got my car fixed here one time.
So this old
before you owned it.
Old Norse radiator.
That's right. They didn't fix my radiator. That's why it's a better bar than it was a repair shop. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with us on the show. And don't forget, 6:30 tonight, Alabama and Middle Tennessee. Trip Rogers, you are the obviously the owner here. But you also do the RMFT. I don't want to say what that means, but I want to tell you that people that they can get some of that beautiful gear that you got.
RMFT.com.
I like sporting your gear.
We've got new hats coming out today. We've got quarter zips. We've got T-shirts. We'll have some more stuff. We're adding more stuff every month. So go get your gear, get ready for the season, and help out another small business.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, well, it's time for our breakdown of the game, and we got to pick. It's a 39-point spread right now, and this is brought to you by Genesis of Tuscaloosa. We're going to take a drive around this game and pick what we think is going to happen. And 39-point spread. You said it. Nick Saban team's off relaxed. What do you think is going to happen today?
I think you're going to see all the quarterbacks or all the ones they want them to play. I think we're going to try to push our running game. I don't think we're going to see much of what we're going to see next week, which will be interesting. This is the team that beat Miami last year in the opening game.
Yeah, Kevin Steele was the coordinator. You think he forgot that?
So we'll see.
Anybody reminded him?
I know. So we'll see. It'll be, 39 points. I don't know if we cover that. So just because I don't think our offense is in it is going to be as explosive as it's been the last few years. And maybe it could. Maybe we win by 50. But just going off of, kind of just being around the summer and, it's going to be an interesting Alabama team to see who comes out.
Yeah. I love Daniel Moore Prince, right? And if you do 23% off until Sunday, Bama Tailgate is the code. We're not going to make one on today's game.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think Daniel will be printing a Middle Tennessee State one.
I know you got
just up the road up 65.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think that Alabama's going to cover all of the 39. I think the defense is going to be ferocious and mean. I think the run game is going to wear them out. We'll see Jalen MIlroe. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see all three quarterbacks. How about that for a prediction? And I think they'll all do okay. Middle Tennessee lost a lot from last year's team.
They had they won the bowl. They won their bowl game last year, didn't they?
They did it, right?
So, maybe we come out and make a statement, and then next week make another statement. So,
well, next week we can't look ahead. You know better than that. You know better than that. What do you got going on though for the Texas game here?
We've got a bunch of stuff. It'll be packed. I have a feeling we'll start being busy Thursday afternoon, much like when Penn State came down here. We've got what's the name of the shoe brand?
Brooks?
No, they're like beach shoes.
Hey, dude.
Hey, dude.
Oh, Hey, dude. I love Hey, dude.
They'll be here Thursday.
Really?
Yeah. They're going to have their stuff set out Thursday.
I wear size 13.
Some young guys who started a website called Bet You.
Okay.
They're going to be here Friday promoting. They're about to launch their site. And it's a site that you bet your friends.
Okay.
So you don't go through it. You don't exchange. I'm not sure how it's set up.
We go head to head.
I told them that we're whatever we can do to help them out. Some young guys starting it off. It's kind of like a social media betting site.
Yeah, right.
So, and then it's gonna be full tilt. I'm glad it's a 6:00 game. I mean, that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, no doubt.
Especially a game like that, because Saturday will be. It's basically gonna be like St. Patrick's Day, I think.
Yeah, well, that'll be a lot of fun. That's next week when Alabama plays Texas. We'll be back here again for that, and then when we go on the road for the first time, we're going to slide over and hang out at the world's best beach bar at the Floribama. And so not a bad few weeks.
No, not a bad few weeks.
It'll be a lot of fun.
You watch the Floribama or watch the South Florida game at Floribama?
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
We're heading down to Tampa. So
are you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tripp, thanks for having us. And thanks to Yuengling Lager, a sixth-generation company, proud Americans and proud Alabama grad, and Cheryl Yuengling, who went right here. And she puts in all those bottles a little bit of Crimson Love. Just remember that as you hang out and come through Tuscaloosa or wherever your tailgate is, and try the new flight. It's a really good, crisp, refreshing, light beer that you can drink a lot of those on a game day when it's hot out there. All right, that does it for the show. Again, Alabama at 6:30 takes on Middle Tennessee. And have a great game day, everyone. And a Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.